make sure you're subscribed to JerCrispy.
What's up, y'all? It shows the most. That's the most. JerCrispy? When a slave become the most dangerous man in the South, Dango. But I call that boy Django.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's time for some more peek.
Every single word that came out of Calvin Candy's mouth was nothing but bullshit. But he was right about one thing. I am that one nigga in 10,000. You motherfucker. I'll take chances and never kill this nigga. What's your name? Django. Can you spell it? DJANGO. Django! You open it, son of
a... Poor intro. Hey, make sure you like, comment, subscribe on the road to 500.
Starts, and we already getting a glimpse into what a saltine would do for some funds. The group of straight niggas over here walking across what looks like the entire world. And once I saw Jamie Foxx without a cut, I already knew the times we were in. When have you ever seen Jamie not with a fresh fade and lineup?
Go cut his hair! Cut his hair!
And bro from the Get Out movie right here just confirmed it. He's been used to getting misused by the white people. No wonder he fell victim to the Snow Bunny mind control. Fast forward a bit, and we got niggas in Paris.
Cause niggas was in Paris.
The group made it to Texas and Smooth Brain 1 and 2 escorting the slaves through the woods. In the distance, they see somebody pulling up with a dim light and Chip Skylark's teeth at the top of that mug. They immediately get to up and pole. Man's pulled up on straight nonchalantness. Whoa, brothers. I'm just your friendly neighborhood hustler. You can put the sticks down. Bro went on to say how he was looking for a pair of 2 slave traders known as the Speck Brothers. That's these 2 hoes right here. But you already know they had to play it off and act dumb. Who wants to know? So he introduces himself as Dr. Schultz, and yeah, that's his horse Spitz. And I know this ain't no black man, but that's a real ninja horse. Look how bro giving the nod and respect. But that's where I would have had to call game and up pole on the doctor right here. Cause ain't no way. We in the South during the times of slavery, and they got horses bowing their head with manners. But common sense ain't so common these days, at least with one of the brothers. But the oldest was on timing. Schultz got to asking about them purchasing the slaves and using words like parlay and junk.
Parlay? That's the one. Parlay.
Had the old Speck brother flabbergasted, made bro put it real simple like. So he tells him he's looking for a slave from the Caracan plantation. He lights his lantern and walks straight over to Jamie Foxx, and that's where we find out his name, Django. Schultz got to interrogating Django on the spot to drop some intel on this other group named the Brittle Brothers, and Django got to spitting names out like sunflower seeds. But all this jibber jabber got the Speck Brothers on edge. They tell bro his money ain't good and he can skedaddle on out of here. Schultz thought it was a game, but when that shotty got upped, there were no more games getting played. And this right here is where we see Dr. Schultz went to school for another practice. And it wasn't dealing with teeth. Cause as soon as the brother uttered these words,
last chance, fancy pants.
Schultz pulled this now you see me, now you don't old maneuver. And oh my goodness, this man just got his brains turned into gravy and mashed potatoes, full platter.
That was smooth. That was smooth. That had to be the most top 5 smoothest kill. Have to be, bro. Damn near have
Maybe now you don't old maneuver. And
that was smooth. That was too smooth with it, bro.
oh my goodness, this man just got his brains turned into gravy and mashed potatoes, full platter.
On a scale from 1 to 10, my friend, you're fucked.
Man, Schultz got a doctorate in blickery. Bro done one-shot the horse too. Now the last speck laying on the ground sounding like that one fish from SpongeBob. Had the audience over here really feeling bad for bro, cause the horse got shot, but not really though, cause these goofies, you know, some slave traders, so bump them. And we find out the horse's name was Ace. I guess aces can't thrive in any universe. Got one getting slimed up by a Falco punch straight through his chest, and the other over here getting his brain smoothified like we playing Red Dead Redemption. So Schultz had bro over here writhing in pain as he finished up business with Django. After confirming once more Django could spot the Brittle brothers, Mans became a free man on the spot. He hands off the shotty while he counts up the munyon and tells Django to go get the coat off the dead brother. And bro right here still rage baiting. Boy, you better not touch my brother's coat. See, now why you gonna go ahead and say something like that? Now Django got you over here sounding like a Nelly song. After Django acquires some looted drip, Schultz walks over and throws $125 in bro face like he an OnlyFans thought. And this gotta be one of the highest forms of disrespect. Imagine your brother
they should have killed that man too. You need to leave no evidence.
Get slimed out, one of your slaves get purchased without your permission, and you down here with a pancake leg and getting bills thrown at your jawline. Yeah, this not a good day to be a spec, cause to finish it off, Schultz came in and gave the rest of the ninjas an option they couldn't refuse. He lets them keep the stick, hands them the key to the shackles, and gave them directions towards a better place. Him and Django ride off, and we see the slaves walk over to Spec. Got him begging, but buddy,
there's no way out of this. You're done.
One punked, and that's just the beginning. Tarantino over here done set the pace for real. This movie is finna be peak. So Django and Schultz pull up to Daughters, Texas. Wait, Daughter? D-A-U, yeah, I ain't saying it again. Texas. They get to strolling through the town, and the eyes that were on them just astonished. Had all the citizens thinking, is that Harambe on a horse? One geezer so flabbergasted he uttered those words himself.
She's bigger on a horse.
They get to the saloon, and Schultz got asking for Michelob's in this mug. The bartender up there acting like he was working was like, hey, we not open for another hour. But when bro turned around, you would have thought he seen Hunter x Hunter was getting another season of anime. Man, flabbergasted. Daner fell off the ladder, but then he immediately got to speaking with a filthy mouth. And the doctor had to send him out of the saloon hitting the stanky leg. Bro told the geezer to go grab the sheriff. Then we get another nugget of knowledge. So Schultz tells us he's actually a bounty hunter. He said he'd rather not get into the slave trade and rather slime out grimy criminals for his hustle. So he makes our boy Django a deal. He tells him he would like for them to make a bet. And forbid someone in the crowd says, let's make a bet around a group of niggas. Django leaned in so quick, them words was tickling the back of his ear like Mariah hitting a high note. Schultz and Django make a bet that if he helps him take each and every Brittle brother off the map, he will officially be a free man and have 4 pockets full after it's all done. And speaking of the devil, the sheriff walks over and tells them to hit the road. They walk outside, and the citizens out here watching this because they know some racial violence was about to take place. People back then was too evil. But while the sheriff over here monologuing, Schultz walks down and wasted no time. Bro pulled out a doohickey. Doohickey, any form of equipment that has the potential for violent and fatal activity.
Hey, you know you learning some little history on this channel, bro. Little bit of history. I ain't like history like that, but we learn a little bit something, bro. Doohickey. Bro
pulled out the doohickey and had the citizens confuzzled, but then he was like,
I think we ain't doing it.
And put a metal tic-tac through his noggin. Now that things are escalated, the marshal has to get into action. The marshal pulls up at least 50 to 100 deep. I'm talking sticks and blicks for days. He calls the two out, but not before Schultz used his talk no jutsu to basically beg not to get shot down in the street. Had the marshal thinking, so basically, I'm hearing don't shoot you down like you shot down our sheriff. Had Schultz hitting the Tony the Tiger emote. That's great. Now that there's an understanding, the two walked out of the saloon, hands up and prayers tucked. Then after some more jibber jabber, Schultz tells him that the sheriff was actually a criminal named Willard Peck with a bounty on his head. Then after some time, we get to see a man who's about his munyon. Schultz told them to take the rest of the confusion up with the judge and was straight up like,
in other words, Marshal, you owe me $200.
And you know this nigga had aura when he did that. Even Django had to put his hands down to push the anti-Birdman agenda. And if it was me, I'd had to put some respect on his name too. He really too cold with it. The gang we didn't know we needed is now riding their way to the next ops location. But before that, Schultz had to pick Django's brain real quick. They do some quick gang trust bonding. Schultz was over here asking about what bro would do once the bet was over. And no hesitation, Django was like, I'm gonna find my wife. Alright, hold up. Pause the chaos real quick because this video is sponsored by Raycon. And I got a essential
that better not be the whole.
plus 30.
Oh my
The real
God.
kicker than a 30-day happiness guarantee is literally open earbuds are selling out fast. So of New York just for a present his wife gave. You got niggas like John Wick over here sliding out the whole of New York just for a present his wife gave him. What you think a black man gonna do for his queen?
Facts.
Y'all better stop. But anyways, we learned about Django's past and found out him and his wife got sold off by their past slave owner for trying to run off the plantation. They were really trying to hop off the porch for real. So Django and his shawty now separated, and this is where we at today. And Django really hyping up his black queen for real. He gassing up the fact that she speak German and her name Broomhilda. I low-key felt this though. I got a black queen from Maryland, and when she talks, it's like eating homemade sweet potato pie on a Thanksgiving day with both ears.
Sensational.
Schultz turns out to be German himself, and bro was astonished at this audio. Sometime later, the duo goes to Tennessee, where Django getting suited and booted for their next opposition assassination. Bro, the two up in the room and Schultz talking about, hey man, this next gig, you gotta be my valet. Valet? Nigga, what's that? Turns out, this ain't the valet we thought it was. Fool ain't finna be parking wagons and horses. All they did was make the word servant more fancy. But in this day and age, it's better than slave. And when the doctor told Django to get suited and booted, it was raps. Mans was in the main menu going dumb on the costumes like a 2K My player. Seconds later, we see one of the most diabolically chosen pieces of attire I've ever seen someone choose to wear in a time and age where niggas are sold for the price of a pair of clean white Fazos. This nigga is crazy. But when they got to the spot, we found out the plantation owner had to go trash for trash with Django and came out looking like the KFC guy. Instead of saying it's finger licking good, bro out here on straight timing. He pulled out the hard R as soon as Django got within range, and you know this had to be a crazy sight.
Yep. I think this is the most crazy scene. I think this one you see one of the slaves got eaten up by a dog. You know, this still don't make no sense how they had dogs back in the day. I don't know when dogs were made, but
Cause the henchman in the back got the pole strapped up, ready to lay the nearest ninja down on a horse. But the doctor and Doug Dimmadome go back and forth until finally the doctor had to pull out the special move.
5,000 things, I might say.
Once the word $5,000 was mentioned, you would have thought Colonel Sanders had a friend that was black. While these two get to talking business, Django gets a tour of the whole plantation. But Schultz was like, hey Bennett, now remember, my nigga Django is a free man. Don't treat him like no average nigga. So they sent bro on his way, and not even 5 seconds into the tour, shawty already cooking bro fit.
You mean you wanna dress like that?
But Django ain't got time for the games, and he pressed her on if she knew the Brittle brothers. He said 3 brothers, and she immediately got to spilling tea. No Lipton. Django pulled out the visionary device and spotted one of the brothers with the quickness out there in the fields. All it took was one glance, and bro was getting spammed with flashbacks of his shawty getting whipped by these brothers. And I'm not gonna lie, this is where the movie would have had even the realest of niggas shed a tear, cause the rage you would have had.
Right there, that would have had got me hot. Like that would have made me wanna like break out that big real quick. Yeah, I'll take them hits for you. Real talk.
Had to contain watching your wife get her back fleeced by one of these racist geezers is insane. He snaps out of the flashbacks and Django gets the drop on the other brothers. And if you guess they're up to their usual grimy ways, you'd be correct. This gray-haired Twinkie got the nerve to recite Bible scriptures while preparing to fleece a shawty, but Django wasn't amused. Bro came in two-stepping, and before whatever fate this fool about to meet, we found out shawty was getting whooped for breaking a egg. Yeah, Django, do your worst. This fool too evil. Okay, I'm sorry. I just can't with this, bro. Nigga knees in a long distance relationship. And while everybody over here staring because Django dressed like a shiny Pokemon, he pulls out the mini blick on the stick and fills the geezer's chest with lead. And then he hit him with one of the cleanest one-liners only he could remember.
I like the way you die, boy.
Dude fell over like Plank from Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Meanwhile, the backup over here fumbling and bumbling with the stick. And this right here is a fine case of plot armor. And Django takes full advantage by grabbing the whip and spamming this ninja with heavies. Look at this in slow mo.
Bro, you know how many memes dudes be making of this, bro?
Fumbling and bumbling with the stick. And this right here is a fine case of plot armor. And Django takes full advantage by grabbing the whip.
Right here. Oh, I know you're a gentleman. I wonder how you such a good gentleman. your mom and
and
dad.
spamming this ninja with heavies.
Did I?
Look at this in slow
Told ya.
mode. I know this
Not
lick
to
right
do
here
it
to
again.
the face had dude eyebrows on fire after beating this fool.
Every black child, or some, they got a few ways to get their with Mexicans and all. Everybody know when you got a whooping for your parents, that you know just to go ahead and start crying.
For the foreseeable future, bro really feeling himself. Now he just over here oil farming for the love of the game, picking up the blickery and mag dumping into mans. Schultz came in hot too, showing us who really on that phase-ish. Django confirmed the last Brittle brother Ellis was out there in the field, and after this shot, the Brittle brothers were no more. Doug Demodome and Co came with the poles up, and we see a familiar display of S-tier explaining as the doctor gives them the rundown on the whole situation. So they load up the bodies and it switches to the night, and the doctor over here loading the buggy with dynamite and sneaking up off in the distance. Look who it is, Doug Demodome and his clansmen. These fools came in here looking like they 100 deep, but before the chaos, we gotta talk about probably one of the most funny yet racist clips I've ever seen with these two eyes. These niggas over here having a strategy meeting about the villainry they're about to commit, but one dude put the bag on his head and all niggertry broke loose. This gotta be a group of some of the most low IQ in the straight Neanderthal behavior. The fool who wife made the bags had enough of the dick riding too. He snapped on all these goofies and rolled off. Look at this. Freak all y'all. I'm going home. My shorty worked all day and night making these dang bags for y'all niggas. Since y'all can't seem to hop off her coochie, from now on, don't ask me and mine for nothing. But now, back to the regularly scheduled program. These fools over here surrounding what they thought was Django and the doctor, but they soon find out they've been hoodwinked. One shot to Timmy Turner's tooth, and like 10 goofies got plastered against the grass by the dynamite. Now they over here scattering like roaches through the field. Then the doctor lets Django have the honor. He handed bro the stick, and sharpshooter must run in Django's blood, cause that shot was immaculate. Had Schultz over here cheesing. That night, the gang had to do some more bounty bonding, and Schultz gives Django yet another bet. He tells bro that if he can just work with him through the winter, once the snow is all gone, both of them will come back and go ride over to rescue his shawty Broomhilda. And of course Django says yes. So now he goes and gets a quick glow up, new drip, new saddle, and they off into the sunset like this the end of the movie. One of the missions he had in the off season, he had to lay down a gang leader named Smitty Bacall in front of his son. And after a quick reminder of the munyon that he and the doctor was making, he laced Smitty Bacall expeditiously. Then gave little man down there a Bruce Wayne levels of character development. And this scene right here is some
and Loki, they all deserve whoever Django do.
Straight gassing them. I bet y'all can't give me a reason they got Django looking this clean. Bro is really the John Wick of the South with this revolver. And the snow bounties must be up, cause I swear both Django and the doctor just got a new kill streak right here. I'm talking bodies, bodies, bodies. And with the munyon being collected and the winter season over, we now move on to the Candyland arc. They lock in the final plan, and Schultz tells them straight up, we can't just show up like, hey, can we buy this woman off you real quick? No, we gotta finesse, brother. So the operation is simple, but evil genius level low key. They'll pose as slavers. Schultz will be the rich, eccentric businessman. Django will be the black slaver assistant, the one who knows the Mandingo fighting game. Their reason for being there, they want to buy one of Calvin Candy's top fighters. Their real goal, get close enough to sneak Broomhilda into the conversation and buy her on the side, like she'll be the plus. This is one of those plans where if one person squints wrong, everybody dies. Peak Tarantino tension. Schultz is like, we go in big, loud, flashy, out racist the racist. And Django gotta be the front man. Django just nods, fully committed.
Hold on, wait a minute. Go back, son.
Schultz is like, we go in big, loud, flashy, out racist the racist. And Django gotta.
My nigga got a cut. Hold on, they know how to do a cut back in the day? Or I'm just tripping.
Gotta be the front man. Django just nods, fully committed. You got a man that's determined to get his wife back. That's worse than a revenge arc. That's romantic genocide energy. Now we hit the Mandingo business meeting with Calvin Candy, but before they even get to Candyland, they gotta meet him in the town first at his little fight club spot where he's running Mandingo matches like it's the UFC's Jim Crow edition. Schultz and Django walk in, and boom, we see Calvin Candy for the first time. Leo DiCaprio. Slick back hair, velvet suit, and I can't lie, brother got that junk on though. Skull cane in hand, smiling like a plantation Twitch streamer. He got two Mandingo fighters over here swinging straight haymakers at each other, and he's just watching, casual. Like it's sports. Bro, you is not putting no parlay on this. His Mandingo ended up winning too, so guess what bro did? He handed dude Thor's hammer and told him to finish the job. The dude caved bro's head in, and they give him a beer as a participation trophy. And this where Tarantino really shows you, Candy isn't just racist, he's entertained by cruelty. He doesn't need slaves to work fields. He wants slaves to be content. Schultz comes in all smiles, all charm, talking about he's fascinated by Mandingo fighting, offering to spend thousands. And once Candy hears that number, oh, his eyes light up like a cash register. Meanwhile, Django over here standing in the back, leaning in the cut, watching everything, letting Schultz cook up real quick. Candy is drawn to Django immediately too. He's like, who's this uppity neck dressing like he owns stock? Schultz introduces Django as his valet, his right-hand man, his Mandingo expert. He hypes Django up like he's Skip Bayless of the slave fights. Candy eats it up too. He's both offended and intrigued. The idea of a black man talking business at his table is blasphemy to him. But the wallet on the other side, yeah, that mug talking. And that's how the Candyland invitation gets locked in. Now mid-trip, Tarantino shows us exactly what type of demon Calvin Candy is. They're on the road, riding carrots deep. And then they had to stop, cause Calvin got one of his fighters, we're gonna call him Deontay, who tried to run away. Candy drags him out that tree, beaten, exhausted, barely standing. He's surrounded by dogs, and Candy gives Django and
to this day, I still don't know how the fuck these niggas got dogs, bruh. And look how they about to do this to this man in this scene, bro.
A front row seat to the nastiest lesson possible. This is low-key one of the most disturbing scenes in the whole movie. He looks at Schultz and was like, what would you do to a horse that can't pull a carriage anymore? And Schultz over here trying to stay in character goes along like, well, you probably get rid of it. Candy smirks, and that's all you needed to know. He says, exactly. Then he sicks the dogs on Deontay. The camera doesn't even have to show us everything either. Just the sound of the meat getting ripped off the bone. I'm talking tendonism. Django trying hard not to move too. Schultz visibly shaking. This moment right here is really crucial too, because you can see it break Schultz. You can see it in his face. This is beyond bounty hunting. This is raw evil. Django though, he looks like his soul just swallowed a fireball. He's not allowed to help. He can't react, and he has to just sit there still while a man in his same position is getting torn limb from limb. Finally, they arrive at Candyland, and listen, this place is shot like a twisted Disneyland. Big white house, green fields, cute little trees, everyone over here smiling fake. But you know it's evil as soon as you see that name carved in the gate like a brand. The carrots pulls up, and here comes Steven, Samuel L. Jackson, with the most disrespectful hairline in cinema. He steps out limping, squinting, and looking at Django like, now who the heck is that nigga supposed to be?
Who this nigga on that nag?
Steven's whole energy is crazy because he's technically a slave, but the way he moves, talks, and scolds people, bro runs the house like Calvin's black granddaddy. He's seeing Django riding a horse, dressed free, talking back to white people, and his entire brain short circuits. Candy walking up all friendly like, Steven, this here's Django. He's a freeman. Steven was like, free man? Free man? On this property? Lock him up. And low-key, the way Samuel L. Jackson plays this nigga is insane. He's shocked, angry, jealous, all that junk at once. He hates Django before he even knows his name. And we gotta pause right here, cause Steven is really important. He's not just a side character. He's like the final boss of internalized racism. He built a whole identity on serving candy. So somebody like Django, who's free and proud, yeah, that threatens his whole reality. Django, yeah, he's scouting. He's looking for one person, Broomhilda, and then she appears. They bring Broomhilda out from the hot box at some point. She'd been punished for trying to escape again. She over here weak, shaking, eyes dim. The moment Django sees her, the world stops. No more music, no more jokes, just pain. He has to stay in character though. He can't yell, he can't run to her, and can't even look at her too long. Schultz, being the smooth operator that he is, pretends that he just happened to be interested in this one house slave who speaks German. He says to Candy, "I hear you have a girl on the plantation who speaks my language. I love to talk with her, purely out of curiosity." Wink, wink. So that night, they get Hildy ready for Schultz, but this was the plan all along. Soon as she got in the room, he starts speaking German to her, but he ain't running game on her. He just trying to let her know her man was standing behind her. One look at Django, and she over here falling out like a Michael Jackson groupie. They eventually get her up and explain the whole plan. So that night, they all gather for some good eats at the dinner table, and these next couple scenes just got too crazy. All this jibber jabber, but somebody in the room is not clueless. Steven. Steven watching everything. He sees the way Hildy looks at Django, the tiny flinch, the tremble. His old head senses are tingling. Later that night, while everyone else...
That nigga Stevenson, bro, man, that nigga was a hater when I saw that shit. That nigga was a hating ass nigga, saying, and then he was the type of dude that made me just wanting to hop in the screen and just want to cut back and, man, slap that man one like twice.
Is going about their old slave owner shenanigans. Steven corners Broomhilda in the kitchen and he starts grilling her. And I'm talking like a dad who just saw his daughter with the hood nigga and the Hellcat. He's like, "What's going on with you and that uppity nag nigga?" He forces it out of her that Django is her husband. Oh, and he eats that up. Steven immediately goes to Calvin like, "Hey boss, we got played." He breaks it down. Django and Hildy are married. Schultz didn't come for a Mandingo fighter. The Mandingo deal is a smokescreen. The real target is Broomhilda. Candy over here listening, and his whole face changes. No more smiles, no more charm. We officially enter villain monologue mode. Next scene, everybody's back in the big dining room. Candy sits at the head of the table, quiet. He's got that kind of evil silence where your mom says your full name once, and you just know. Schultz tries to keep things going like nothing's wrong. They're about to sign papers, finalize the Mandingo deal. Then Candy slams the brakes. He pulls out that skull and boom, table gets serious. He starts telling this long, disgusting, scientific speech about black skulls and obedience. Talking about slaves are naturally submissive. Like, bro, get out of here.
Right.
Talking about how even when they hate their masters, they'll still serve them. He cuts his hand on glass mid-speech and actually is bleeding on the table and never breaks character. Leo Loki snapped too hard on this scene, and I don't know if y'all really know, he really cut his hand in this scene and just kept acting. Yeah, that couldn't be me. He drags the speech out, building the tension, getting angrier and angrier until finally he spells it out. "You didn't come for a Mandingo fighter, Schultz. You're here for that girl, and you tried to fool me." Everybody goes dead quiet. The jig is up. Guns slowly rise under the table, and you can feel Django getting hotter by the second. Candy tells Schultz, "You thought you could come in my house, lie to my face, and steal from me? Nah, playboy. If you want her, you gotta pay top dollar for that lie." He tosses the Mandingo papers aside and focuses only on Broomhilda. He says, 12,000 for her right now. That's the same amount they offered for a whole Mandingo fighter before. He basically charges that much out of pure ego tax. This isn't business anymore, it's humiliation. Schultz is over here shaking too, cause that's some straight bread, money coming straight out his pocket. This goes against everything he stands for. He came to rescue Hildy, not legitimize Candy's ownership over her, but Candy's got them cornered. They've got guns pointed at Broomhilda, at Django, at Schultz. Everybody about to get shot in this mug. Candy gives them a choice. Either you pay me what she's worth to you, or we'll kill all y'all right here, right now, and she'll still sleep here tonight. Low key, that was a bar. This nigga really a villain for real. You can see Django wanting to jump up and air the place out, but they surround it. Schultz, after a long, painful pause, bro done caved in. He signs the papers, pays the insane price, and buys Broomhilda's freedom the legal way from a man who never had the right to own her in the first place. Candy makes them go through the full process too. He's trying to get them to shake hands, makes the humiliation official. And right here is where the tension is at its max, because on paper, they won. They got Broomhilda, but emotionally, Django and Schultz had to sit there and participate in the very system they hate just to pull off the rescue. But this is the moment before the storm. Calvin thinks he's in control. Django is boiling. Schultz is barely keeping his sanity, and all that's left is one handshake. They in his office eating cake and talking about Shakespeare or something like that. And as all the documents getting signed officially, he shows Hildy that $12,000 sheet of paper and tries to go off about their day. But Candy had other plans. Bro's still trying to rage bait. So he says, "Doctor, you know we can't finalize the sale without the legendary DAP." More jibber jabber, and Schultz has officially fallen to the bait. Candy told him if the DAP doesn't happen, the deal is off, and he blowing everybody down with the sawed off shotty. And y'all, let this be a lesson. Sometimes it's not worth to cave in to the rage bait, cause instead of shaking Candy's hand, Doctor walks over and puts a gumball straight through his chest. Got him leaking through the drip. Candy took 3 steps back and all the HP left his body. Got Steven over here screaming like Courage the Cowardly Dog, but the doctor doesn't make it out of this one. Goon turned around and blasted Buddy against the shelves. Now it's time for the Black John Wick to show up. Django grabs Buddy's pistol and puts him down quickly. Bro grabbed the revolver and turned it to a Call of Duty sweat. I'm talking niggas getting laid down left and right. Bro dived out the dining room like these and blasted 3 grunts expeditiously. While all this is happening, the lawyer buddy over here getting treated like target practice. I low-key felt bad for him. Just how the heck are these fools ain't that bad? 4 jokers came through the—
Nope, don't feel bad for them. Never feel bad for them people. No.
The door sticks up, but they ain't know Django had rapid fire equipped. Greased. All except one. Now he in a head glitch matched with the last one. Bro finds another blick on this dead body's hip, and this mug looks like a Red Dead trailer. He dove out using the body as cover and put every single one of these jokers down at the door. And at this point, all the henchmen got a kill on sight order for any black person in sight, except Steven, cause they over here killing slaves and all trying to get Django. Then we get some fire theme music as Django continues to blow down each and every goon that confronts him with the stick talk. In the end, they end up overwhelming bro though. The whole house done got surrounded, but Steven steps in and was like, "Django, it's up for you, nigga. We got your shawty. Now go ahead and surrender before we blow her down." So Django surrenders, and then it cuts straight to the torture. Bro is in the barn hung upside down like one of those ducks in the Chinatown market window. Billy Crash, one of the ops, comes in and is about to get straight to work. He is here solely to give Django some of the worst pain he can bear, and then some. But before Django got his nuts chopped off by this heated blade, Steven comes in and tells Billy to hold it. Bro ended up freeing this fool for some reason. We found out he's not actually getting freed, but he's getting sent to the mining company for slaves where Goofy's getting treated like deli meat. Minutes later, Bro is on his way to certain destruction with the other slaves from earlier, but they stopped to take a quick break. Django used this opportunity to use his nonsense no jutsu. Bro started telling dude about the bounty money back at Candyland. He gave him that bounty paper and started speaking that sweet talk. He gave them all the whole story and how they roped him up like he a slave when actually he a bounty hunter. So one of the geezers goes and confirms Django's story with the slaves in the cage, and sure enough, everything checks out. So they cut Django loose and hand the man a loaded gun. Bro, as soon as that pistol touched his skin, 3 geezers was dead instantly. And Quentin Tarantino, trying to get him a cameo in his own movie, had to make his acting debut just to get blown up seconds later. That's crazy. Django came out the smoke ore farmer yet again. He takes one of the horses, freed the other slaves, and grabbed the dynamite and got going straight back to Candyland. Back on the property, these goons over here chilling and relaxing like junk sweet, but peace don't last in the South. Django came in and
I swear they had to be done, cause ain't no way you just he came off with that the smoothest way.
Everyone into grits and eggs. Bro had to farm some XP real quick. He goes back to the barn and grabs his papers off Schultz's dead body, and the final battle is creeping up. Hildy locked up in this room, and when she turns around, it's Django at the door, while Steven over here singing like a deacon at a Baptist church. They walk in the door, and upstairs, Django had to match the tune. Wade in the water. Bro upstairs done walk to the railing, and he looking too clean. Bro came to the crib and equipped a whole new fit. He laid down Billy Crash and the other goon faster than you can say the word honey bun. Had everyone in that mug stun locked. He told all the black folk in the room, except Uncle Ruckus behind, to leave, but not before Cora tells Miss Laura goodbye. So as she says goodbye, Miss Laura, Django blasted her 20 yards past the door.
Damn, hold on, what Miss Laura did?
The word honey bun. Had everyone in that mug.
Never mind.
Dunlop.
She
He
deserve
told
it
all
too.
the
Miss Laura deserve it too.
black folk in the room except Uncle Ruckus behind to leave, but not before Cora tells Miss Laura goodbye. So as she says goodbye, Miss Laura, Django blasted her 20 yards past the door frame for a Candyland touchdown. Now it's just Steven and Django. Bro walks down the stairs, all careful like, and Steven knows it's up for him. Bro over here sounding like a Young Thug song.
I count 6 shots, nigga.
But bro brought 2 pistols to this fight. He used that second pistol to turn Steven into the bronze kneecap. And while walking and learning from Schultz's mistakes, he lets the rage baiter bathe in his own bait and lights the dynamite with that blunt. Bro walked back to his shawty outside, smooth as can be. The whole plantation exploded. And that right there is Django. I low-key would have loved to see them make a Django 2. I don't know how they would have made that mug, but hey, this movie right here, easily top 10.
Yep.
Yeah, third. Hey, JM.
Yep. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow our social media. Then pop on the screen. If you want more videos like this, let me know. And I'm out.